Hey everyone, this is Daniel Winchell here from Recipe Cost Calculator, and I'm going to quickly show you some changes and improvements to our recipe groups feature, which is now going to be called sub-recipes. If you're an existing user or customer, you'll remember there used to be a tab up here called recipe groups. We've taken that out, and everything that was a recipe group before is now going to be listed here in your recipes. So the way that the new recipes work is that the way that the new sub-recipe sort of feature works is that when you're defining or creating new recipes now, instead of just being able to add ingredients, you can now add recipes to that recipe as well. So some examples of where you might find that useful. Let's say, this is a simple example. Let's say you bake cookies, you're a cookie manufacturer, and so you have a cookie recipe. But you also create a recipe for the packaging. So maybe that includes a cellophane bag and a cardboard retail package. What you can do is you could create a new recipe again that says something like, our retail packaged cookies, and the two items that you add to that are your cookie recipe and your packaging recipe, and you set the quantity appropriately, and now what you have is sort of a nested recipe, but it tells you exactly what your cost is for not only the product that you make but also the packaging that you put it in. It works also for restaurants. If you have a specific salad that you make and you prepare ahead of time and you portion that out in by weight onto plates, you could create the salad recipe, you could create the recipe for the main course, and then you could create an additional recipe that adds both of those two recipes into that recipe, which gives you sort of a final plating costs. So I've got here a turkey lunch special and a turkey sandwich and a French baguette, which are three recipes. This is actually a recipe that contains nested recipes. This is what we used for the last screencast. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly create another new recipe to show you this feature a little bit more. This is just going to be really fast. I'm just going to call it chocolate chip cookies. We're going to say it yields 48 cookies, and we're going to start to add some ingredients. So we're going to add some butter, and we're going to add sugar. We're going to add brown sugar, and also going to add white sugar. We're going to add flour and salt and chocolate and eggs and vanilla. And I don't think that I have baking soda in here, but that's fine. This is just for an example anyways. So for this recipe, the way that we've defined our ingredients, you're always going to be told on the side here what you're allowed to enter in this field. So I can, I created my butter as being purchased by weight, so I can enter any of these units and it'll help me calculate. So for this recipe, it's going to be 225 grams of butter, 220 grams of brown sugar, 200 grams of sugar. We're going to have 375 grams of flour, call it 5 grams of salt. Chocolate, we're going to do 300 grams. Eggs is different. I said that we bought eggs in quantities, so I just have to enter a number here, how many eggs we use, which is going to be 2 for this recipe. And vanilla is a little bit different as well. We buy vanilla by volume, so half a liter or something like that. So we're going to specify that we use 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So I'm going to create this recipe, and you can see that now we get a nice cost breakdown for our chocolate chip cookie recipe. The nice thing about this is that it's going to tell us, just to make it a little bit easier, that all of these items are ingredients. They're not recipes. So here is the cost chart and everything that we need for our chocolate chip cookies. The cost per unit is 10 cents. So we go to recipes now. Maybe we're going to gonna quickly create another recipe, and we're gonna call it, turkey sandwich lunch special with cookies. So we're just gonna say one serving is fine. And now we can search not just for ingredients, but we can search for recipes. So if I type in turkey here, I can add turkey sandwich. So I'm going to add one turkey sandwich. And I'm going to search for cookies. And my recipe yield for the cookies is 48. So this is going to add one cookie, but maybe I want to add 3 cookies to the lunch special. And then maybe I don't want to just add recipes. Maybe I want to add some carrot sticks. So you can see that the carrots now that I'm adding is an ingredient as opposed to a recipe. So I can enter any valid weight. So we're going to add 200 grams of carrot sticks. And some blue cheese, because everyone loves some blue cheese dressing with their carrots. And we're going to call it 2 tablespoons. So now what I've got is I'm going to create this. Now what I have is I have a recipe, which is my turkey sandwich lunch special with cookies, and it is composed of not only itself as a recipe, but it has these 2 sub-recipes, a turkey sandwich and chocolate chip cookies. And it also has 2 ingredients, carrots and blue cheese dressing. So the nice thing about this is that you can nest recipes more deeply. So if you had another recipe, maybe you had a 3-person lunch takeout combo, and you wanted to add 3 of these turkey sandwich lunch specials to that, and a 6-pack of Coke or something, you could do that without having to recreate all of this stuff there. So that's how our new recipe or sub-recipe feature works, and we're really excited about it and hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, you can send me an email anytime.